Hey, it's Brian and Chris here from Resolve Technology. Today we're going to talk about Microsoft Teams phone system. It's not actually a physical phone system. It's a phone system in the cloud, in the Microsoft data center. So there's no need to buy any equipment unless you want some hard phones. Otherwise, you can just use Teams as your phone, but there's no physical box to buy like the old day with the old PBX systems. And it has basically all the same functionality you would see in the old phone systems with a modern touch. Chris, why don't you show us some of the basics?
Yeah, sure. So we have a Microsoft demo environment that's configured for Teams voice. You can see we're signed in with a few different people here. If we wanted to just call someone in our organization, go down to calls and say we're going to call Irvin Sanders over here. So we just dial him in. You'll see on his screen the call will come up. Adele's calling you. We can answer it. You can also say Irvin's the receptionist. We can click the more button here, the three dots, and you can put them on hold. You can bring up the dial pad. You can also transfer it to another user. So when we hit transfer there, it puts it on hold, and we'll start typing in this third account here, Grady Archie, the designer. So if we hit transfer, so you can see transferred by Adele Vance, calling you. We could take that call. You'll see he drops out of the call here, or she rather. And then it's just these two in the call that they transferred to him.
Okay, great. So for the older folks that have been around a little while, like me, that prefer a regular phone, a hard phone, if you will, you can do the transfers and put people on hold and all that sort of thing using the phone. Still use the phone. However, most likely for you, for the younger generation, they're not even used to a phone other than the cell phone. And by the way, you can use Teams, the Teams app on this your cell phone to make calls also. But the point being that most people would prefer to be in the Teams. You just need a headset, and you don't have to buy an expensive phone. So we do have clients that like law offices. Sometimes they prefer having the phones. But again, the younger generation is gonna just as soon use Teams. It's easier for them. The whole idea of extensions and things like that. It's easier to just find a person like Chris just showed us. Chris, is there anything else that you want to share about this?
Yeah. So another cool thing is that there's something called the auto attendant for answering calls. Say you don't want to, have a receptionist answering calls and you want to just have it configured a certain way to your liking. You can have an auto attendant set up. You can choose your business hours when that kicks in. You can also do something like a round robin where you configure the team's VoIP in a way where, person XYZ or one of them get the call. If two of them are in teams busy in a meeting, it'll route to the other person and it just goes around in a round robin.
So back in the day when I used to do phone systems before I started with computers, we'd have to put in a physical box for auto attendant or buy another piece of software on top of the box. So you had all these expenses that you had and all this equipment to buy. But now it's all baked in, just like a lot of voice over IP systems. It's all baked into the Microsoft Teams auto attendant. If you don't want to use auto attendant, like Chris says, you could do round robin to various people. You can pick the people that you want to put into that round robin. You could put calls on hold. You can have a receptionist. Like we have a client that's a law office. They prefer to have the receptionist pick up first. And maybe if the receptionist doesn't pick up, you can route the call to somebody else. They can easily transfer a call. So it's very powerful, just like the old school phone systems. Go ahead,
Oh,
Chris.
oh, I was just gonna say, so on the screen here, this is a VoIP line too. I just have my headset microphone. I don't have a phone, someone calls my direct line, it rings. If not, it goes to a receptionist. This isn't Teams, but it works in a similar fashion. It's just an app on the computer, not a
Right.
physical phone.
Right. So very simple, lower expenses. And yeah, I mean, it's all baked into Teams. So if you need a hand with it, we are setting up clients with the system. It runs 99% of the time. It has all the warts and good points to it that any voice over IP system has. They all work in a similar fashion. It's just that Teams is more integrated. If you're already using Microsoft 365, we usually recommend the Teams with for those clients. All right, Chris, thanks for your help, and we'll talk to you later.